Howdy, this is Kevin Sukow, the Director of Facilities and Grounds for the Sun Prairie Area School District, here to talk to you tonight about the situation report for demolition contracts. This is a matter reserved for board action at the October 24th, 2022 school board meeting. This is coming before you because we are looking at awarding contracts for the demolition of the 160 South Street building, the old Prairie Phoenix Academy building, and the amounts for these are over $250,000. And also, because we are looking to utilize Findorff under their construction management contract that we already have with them as part of our 2019 referendum work, but it will be a change order to that contract that will be over $250,000 as well. So both of those items we're looking for approval on today. Brief history why we're bringing this before the board. In April 2019, when we went out for our capital referendum, that included capital improvements to our existing secondary schools. Most significantly for this conversation is the work that was done to the old Cardinal Heights building at 220 Cronky Drive, reconstructed to include a professional learning center, an employee wellness clinic, Central Heights Middle School, and Prairie Phoenix Academy. So as part of this project, the Prairie Phoenix Academy program had a new space renovated for it within this building, and therefore that program is leaving the building at 160 South Street, which for a while served as the junior high school, the old YMCA youth center, and SOAR, and then most recently Prairie Phoenix Academy. With that building being emptied now, we want to make better use of that space by restoring it to a grassy hill area and making it available for other things that might happen in the future, rather than leaving a building empty that will sit and deteriorate and draw utility costs and things like that for something we don't have use for. And also, one of the reasons that this decision was made, back when we were doing pre-referendum work for this, we looked into what it would cost to make significant renovations to the building to bring it up to modern standards. And because of the age of the building, the systems in the building, and the construction of the building, it would be rather costly to upgrade that building. So the idea or the thought was made that as part of this, we would renovate a different area of Central Heights. And then as part of the referendum, we requested funds to tear down the existing 160 South Street building. Planning for this happened as soon as the referendum was passed, and we started working with Findorff and Bray on the schedule for the projects and how we would have them go. It's kind of interesting because this project, the demolition of the 160 South Street, due to its proximity to the Ashley Field site, was planned for as part of the Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium at Ashley Field project. So that's the first project that was started, and it's now the demolition side is going to be one of the last projects that we complete as part of the referendum. So it's kind of interesting how long this one has spanned, but that was done because of the proximity, the shared utilities, the shared site amenities like the bike path that was required and things like that. So as part of that, when we started that project, Findorff brought in some subcontractors that specialize in demolition to get a budget number for what this might cost. And we established, we had an abatement inspection done to look at what hazardous materials like lead paint, asbestos containing material and things like that might be in the building. So with that information, we were able to establish a budget of $1.2 million for this demolition. And we've carried that as part of this project in our cost estimates along the way. We decided that we would schedule this for late 2022. This would allow Prairie Phoenix Academy to move from 160 South Street to their new location at 220 Cronky Drive and we'd be able to move all the items out of that building. It allowed a space for summer school for PPA to take place while the construction was being done at 220 Cronky Drive. And then we also wanted to schedule it for later in the year to allow most of the events at Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium at Ashley Field to be completed. So while you're, watching a football game, you're not seeing excavator munching on a building in the background or anything like that. And also, because a lot of the companies that do building demolition work also do civil work, like building roads or doing excavation and grading and things like that. In the winter is usually a slower time for that kind of work. So we thought that going in late fall and late winter would allow for more people to be able to have the capacity to bid our job, which I believe we saw in the results for bid package 1. The bidding process, as part of their design contract, Bray Architects and our civil engineering partner, Point of Beginnings, developed the drawings for the plan, which included site, erosion control, grading plan, and what it would look like at the end, or what it needed to look like at the end. Findorff took those documents and created a bid package, as acting in their capacity as our construction manager for the 2019 referendums projects. We decided to break the project into 3 bid packages, and bid package 1, because of the hazardous materials that we believe are in the building, mainly asbestos, that package is being held by the district. We already have insurance that covers that. And if Findorff was to take it on, they would take on more liability and therefore need more insurance to bring onto the project, which would be an added cost. So as part of bid package, for bid package 1, the district is going to hold that contract directly. Bid package 2 is site restoration, which means grading the topsoil once the building is down, and then planting new grass, planting new plantings if needed, repaving areas that need it. And then finally, bid package 3, which is site fencing. That means both permanent fencing once the building is down, as well as temporary fencing to keep the site secure while the demolition is happening. So bid package 2 and bid package 3, as well as the construction management, are being held or performed by Findorff. And bid package 1, we said the district would hold on to. So that's kind of what I'm going through right here. The bid package was bid in early September, and results were finalized on the 3rd week in September. We had 2 walkthroughs, and I know some tours of the building were given to various contractors so they could do an investigation. We also had environmental management company consultants do a asbestos, lead, and mercury investigation to see if there were any hazardous materials and identify where they were, so that the contractors had this information. When this was put out to bid, we had a strong response for bid package 1. I believe we had at least 7 bidders for that job. The low bidder was Robinson Brothers Environmental at $430,500. These are the folks that have done a lot of demolition projects in the area. Most recently, they were the ones that did the demolition at McGovern's at Bird and Main Street in Sun Prairie. Bid package 2 and 3, which Findorff will hold as a construction manager. So we will allot the money to them and they will subcontract, went to RG Houston, who is the low bidder for site restoration, and Century Fence, who had the low bid for site fencing. The total for that package, or for all that put together, is $442,115. We also are requesting an addendum for $250,000 for the abatement, demolition, site restoration, and fencing at other district-owned properties that are adjacent to Bank of Sun Prairie Stadium at Ashley Field. These are sites that were purchased by the district or are district-owned already. We are, again, these are areas that are vacant. And we want to bring them down to reduce utility costs or vandalism opportunities, things like that might happen. So these properties are listed below. 164 Cronky Dive, 303 West Main, 317 West Main, and 323, West Main are properties that were purchased by the district. 509 Commercial Avenue is the old district office building, which most recently served as the Early Learning Resource Center. So based on estimates from the low bidder for the PPA project, or the 160 South Street project, we are estimating these projects to need $250,000, or not to exceed $250,000 to bring down these buildings as well. So the financial impact, when we look at this, even or one thing why we feel comfortable bringing the addendum for the demolition of these other properties is that even with the addendum, we are underneath our budgeted amount for the demolition as part of this project. So we budgeted $1.2 million. If you add up the abatement and demolition, or bid package 1, and then the site restoration, fencing, and project management, bid package 2 and 3, and then the addendum for our demolition of other properties, the total project request comes for a not to exceed amount of $1,122,615. So the recommendation, as you can read before you, is to award the bid for demolition and abatement to Robinson Brothers for $430,500, to award $442,115 to Findorff for all other aspects of the project, and then to approve an addendum to the project of $250,000 to be used for demolition of all the other site properties and any other unforeseen costs that arise as part of these projects. Work will begin in November. With abatement, you might not see stuff happening outside right away. A lot of the materials will be abated and removed from the inside of the building, and then demolition will actually start and be completed during the winter months. And then site restoration and paving would happen in the spring when it's warm enough to do those kinds of activities. Quick time or keywords at key times, as is included in the situation report. If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I will be at the school board meeting on Monday to answer any questions that you may have there. Thank you very much and have a great day.